This tiny netbook now blocks all the ads on my network. Pretty neat. I tried running all kinds of lightweight distros on this thing, and honestly the result is always the same. Not great. With just 2 GB of RAM and an old Intel Atom processor, it struggles with basically anything modern. But that actually makes it perfect for something else. See, the weak CPU means it uses almost no power. It's small, it has an Ethernet port, and the battery is easily removable. So instead of trying to use it like a normal computer, I'm finally giving it a job that it's actually suited for: running Pi-hole. So, what's Pi-hole? Every time you open a website, your device asks for a DNS server where that site lives. Pi-hole sits in between and blocks requests to known ad servers, so instead of loading ads, they just never show up. And because it works at the network level, it blocks ad on every device automatically. So there's no need to install ad blockers on each device, phones, laptops, even smart TVs. Everything just gets cleaner. And the best part is, if you have an old computer, I promise you can do this too. I'm pretty new to all of this, and even I was surprised by how simple it actually is. So, let's set it up. First, we need to install an operating system. I went with a minimal version of Debian. No desktop, just a terminal to keep things as lightweight as possible. Now, that might sound a bit intimidating, but we really only need to run a few commands and then it's basically set up. And there's still a graphical installer anyway, so it's not as scary as it sounds. To get Debian on the netbook, I downloaded the installer and flashed it to a USB using Etcher. Then I booted from it and went through the steps. The important part here is keeping things as lightweight as possible, so I used the wired Ethernet connection to make the install simple and reliable, and when it came to software, I didn't install a desktop environment, just a minimal system with SSH. That way we're not wasting any of those limited resources on graphics that we don't need. Can you guess my password? Once that was done, I was dropped straight into the terminal, and it's from here that everything else happens. So, Pi-hole. I ran sudo apt update, but it didn't work. And after a bit of confusion and some quick searching around, I realized I didn't actually have the right permissions. When I opened the terminal, I saw a $sign, which just means I was a normal user. But for installing things like these, I needed admin access, so I switched to root by running su-, entered my password, and that's when the prompt changed to a hashtag. And once I did that, everything started working. From there, installing Pi-hole is just a single command, this one. The installer then walks me through a few important choices, like selecting the network interface, confirming a static IP, and enabling the web interface. The static IP, I learned, is really important, because my network needs to always know where to find the Pi-hole. If that IP changes, everything kinda breaks. Once the install was done, it showed me a screen with an address for the dashboard, so I switched over to my main computer and opened it there. And then I made one crucial change. I went into my router settings and set the DNS server to point to the netbook. So now every device on my network runs through it automatically. After that, it pretty much takes care of everything else for me. And within a few minutes, it was up and running. And this is what I ended up with, a dashboard that shows every single request on my network and which ones are being blocked. Let's see if it actually works by going to a few different websites. Oh, you weren't supposed to see that. Let's go to CNN. Not a lot is happening here. I just searched for which websites would be best to go for. Let's try Forbes instead. Okay, there we go. That's a lot of queries. It's weird with CNN. You'd think that there's a lot of ads. Let's just try one more time. Oh, there we go. That's a lot of shit. Just after a few minutes of using Pi-hole, we can see that we have 256 total queries and 58 blocked. That's a whole lot. At this point, Pi-hole stopped working. Why? Well, because the netbook went to sleep. And that's when I realized, of course, I have to treat it as a server now, meaning that it can't go to sleep, and preferably I'd also want the screen to turn off. So, as I've said, since I wanted this to run like a proper server, I also had to make sure that it never went to sleep. By default, of course, laptops are built to save power, so they'll suspend when you close the lid, press the power button, or just leave them idle for a while. Now, that's great for everyday use, of course, but for something like this, it kind of defeats the purpose. If it goes to sleep, it stops blocking ads, what just happened, and everything on the network kind of breaks. So I followed this guide and changed a few system level settings. The main thing I had to edit was a file called login.conf, which controls how the system reacts to things like closing the lid or pressing buttons. I opened it using sudo nano etc systemd login conf. And then I added a bunch of lines like the one you can see here. So handle lid switch, ignore, handle suspend key, ignore, handle hibernate key, ignore, and a few others. What this does is to tell the system to essentially completely ignore those events. So even if I close the lid or press the power button, nothing happens. It just keeps running. After that, I saved the file and restarted the service so the changes would apply. But even with those settings, the system could still try to suspend itself in the background. These are the built-in system states like sleep and hibernation that can still get triggered automatically, even if things like closing the lid are ignored. So I didn't want to take any chances. I went one step further and disabled all of those modes entirely using systemd. I did that by running this command, which basically tells the system, don't sleep. Is that cruel? I don't know. It disables those targets completely, so nothing can accidentally trigger them in the background. And I like that approach a lot more because it turns this laptop into something much closer to a real server. Oh, I guess it's a real server now. Now I can close the lid, leave it plugged in, and it just keeps running quietly in the background, blocking ads for everyone on my network. And honestly, just watching the live mode in Pi-hole kind of shocked me. It shocked me just how many requests get sent when I'm just browsing around. Anyway, that's how I set up network-wide ad blocking using a netbook that I got for free. Man, this home lab stuff is a lot of fun. Now, if you want to see more home lab content from a true beginner's perspective, consider checking out my first video in this series. There I talk about what a home lab actually is and why I want one, and I also lay out my entire roadmap for the next months. Oh, and this video was actually a spin-off. Think of a Night of Seven Kingdoms, a short and sweet break from the more in-depth videos. Another spin-off I'm currently thinking about making is a Proxmox cluster from a pile of old and probably old Macs that I picked up for free as well. Stick around the channel if you want to see that. Oh, this thing. I'm glad you asked. I'm currently in the middle of a 2-day project where I made this anime-inspired distro. So again, if you want to see that along with a lot of other Linux fun, stick around the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and a special thanks to Justin, Cal, Afro Aries, Jan, Lester and Dustin, as well as the other members of the channel. You too can become a member of the channel if it's financially responsible of you. Right now there are 2 tiers with different perks, but in addition to these, all members are invited to join a VIP channel in the Discord. Okay, bye!